Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. Titans are getting ready for the Bucs this weekend. Who's going to be playing on the offensive line? We have no idea, but Paul Kowarski is at least rumoring that MPF could be done for the season and is going to be having surgery on that shoulder. Also happening just a little while ago, the Minnesota Vikings announced that Josh Dobbs is going to get the start against the Saints. I mean, why not? First off, every quarterback they have is injured, but, when Josh Dobbs also went 20 for 30, 158 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, as well as 1 rushing, it's going to get you another opportunity to play on the field. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once, and your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome into 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. It is Monday, and it's going down or falling back. Either way you want to look at it, I hope everybody's adjusted to the time, Babs. You got an extra hour. You got an extra hour, Babs.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care. I don't even want it. Take it back.
That's bunk.
Good job,
That's some bunk.
Twitch, please. Twitch, please.
Better watch my mouth on this Monday, huh? What up, people? Happy Monday to you. Is that how everybody feels?
I don't. No, Babsy. That's not how we all feel because it's sunny outside. Some of us had a great weekend.
It is a beautiful day.
Yeah, man.
What'd you do this weekend?
I was all over, Babsy. I was all over.
I saw you all over.
And it was all
wearing a lot of orange.
Yeah, it was unexpected too. Like went up to celebrate Savage. He got honored as Legend of the Day. Up in Knoxville for the game. So went up there on homecoming, did that.
I see you, Savage.
Yeah, Savage out here, man. Just getting
Ramon
little pats on the back, that's all. And then we look up and get some tickets to the Tennessee baseball game on Sunday, which I had no idea that was happening at First Horizon Park. But
that was here.
Yeah, really good turnout too.
Belmont?
Packed house. No, Sanford.
Yep,
great turnout. Good game. Like, I wish I knew.
It's a fall league game.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know they do
season.
that. Yeah, okay, but yeah, it's all right. Joe Hunk behind the glass. What up, Easy?
How's it going, sir?
Good. We're good.
Mayor will be back tomorrow.
Yes, right. That's right. He's on assignment today. Got some good news to get into. Well, I mean, it ain't good news.
Do we?
I mean, it's not good news. I'm just saying, like, it's good news for somebody that wants to step up.
I don't think that we're talking about the same
somebody
things.
might want to step up. What if somebody wants to step up? MPF is out with shoulder surgery.
Oh, this is how you're selling this. This is how you're selling this.
It's a beautiful day out there.
It's good news for the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th string offensive linemen. Now, for Will Levis, this is not good news.
No, this is bad.
This is very bad news. For the Titans fan base, this is, here we go again news.
Mm-hmm. Even more.
And for us, we get to talk about it.
Yeah, it's on our desk. You come in from the weekend.
I feel like Home Alone, right? Like we're already starting, Christmas talk or whatever. We did family pictures yesterday with Santa.
How'd that go, Babs?
Phenomenal, because now baby Babs is of the age where we can bribe her with ho-ho. Oh, yes. So we went in there. We do like a little 10, 15-minute segment with Kim, our photographer. She does it every year for, Santa pictures, so you can get something for your Christmas card, whatever. So we go in there. We're like, guess what? Today, you get to see. She calls him Ho-Ho.
Okay, that's cool.
You get to see Ho-Ho.
Oh.
Ho-Ho? Yeah, but you can't do it till you eat your breakfast. So we eat breakfast. Okay, Ho-Ho. Nope, you can't do it till we take a bath.
Babsy, I brabbed all the way through the day.
All the way through the day. And then we get there to do pictures. And I tell her, I'm like, hey, I need Santa to hide until we get our family shot that I want, where baby Babs is looking at the camera and smiling.
Yeah.
And then we can bring Ho-Ho out. So all through the day, even through the pictures, I'm like, you take a good picture and you look at the camera and you say cheese and smile and look all cute, and then Ho-Ho will come out.
See,
Now I'm like, okay, how long can I use ho-ho?
Yeah, she already saw her.
I'm sorry, Santa. No, I know, but now we're getting into Christmas. Like, if you want Santa to come see you, right? Like, you better behave.
I started using that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, well, I just jumped on the chain yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Every single thing, bro. If you want something from Santa, you better start doing that.
So, Santa, let me just go ahead and tell you, thank you. Thank you for helping to make sure my children behave.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, it is. Anyway, so we're talking about Christmas already, right? So like Christmas movies or, I did see Ramon post something that, all you people disrespecting Thanksgiving and your mac and cheese is going to be cold and crusty because of it. So don't be disrespecting Thanksgiving. I know you're on that same train.
I'm with them too.
Yeah, but we're talking Christmas, and I'm just thinking of Home Alone where the criminals are like, shh. And that's how I felt when I was listening to Buck Rising today. And it was like breaking news sounder, Paul Kowarski reporting this or whatever. And I'm like, shh.
It's also sad I can remember the exact scene that you're talking about.
You know exactly.
It's when he gets the goo on his head because of the pipes that are falling down in Home Alone 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
and he's got the iron mark on his head.
Yes.
God, that's a great movie.
Love Home Alone 2.
Anyway, Nicholas Petit-Frere suffered that shoulder injury, which I want to say, didn't Ramon report on it during the game? I think.
Did.
Yeah.
Yep.
That, I mean, he was struggling to do his job anyway.
Yeah.
You definitely can't do your job when your shoulder's not
Because he wasn't left tackle, and then they moved him over to right tackle, and then the injury didn't help him out, so they eventually just pulled him all together.
Yeah.
Right.
You go out there trying to hold, man, and you get that. That's a different animal coming at you.
If your shoulder won't hold, you're not going to be able to hold.
If your shoulder won't hold, you will.
Correct.
He couldn't.
Ugh. So yeah, that's I know for Titans fans, certainly frustrating news, and now again you go back to what are you doing on that line?
Right.
What can you do? What options do you have? Now I do feel like am I crazy? I feel like Radens has been better, but I guess it's better than what he was.
It's like what you were telling me when I was like, hey, this line they look okay. Like, when you're starting on the ground floor, sometime in the basement, you can only go up. Like we don't have a shovel. We're not digging a hole. Like
don't speak too soon.
Very true, especially with everything taking place. But I do think Radens coming off of the ACL looks much better now than he did. Strength-wise, technique-wise, we'll have to ask Big Savage when we get him on later in the week. But I think all in all, man, he's done a solid job. And that's saying a lot compared to a line outside of Peter Skoronski and Aaron Brewer. You give Aaron Brewer credit?
I guess.
Dang.
He's been the most consistent.
Yeah.
He's the only one that didn't get hurt on Thursday.
I love Aaron Brewer because you know me. I'm like, I love the small, scrappy, blue collar, work your butt off. But at some point, like his size is an issue. As much as you love the fight in him, it's an issue. And we were talking about it on Thursday night, too, with some of the high snaps coming off of Sunday's game and all that. And you can still see it a little bit because he's trying to rush it because he knows those big guys are coming. And I think his size affects him,
Absolutely. That's stuff to work on. So that's the question. That's what's posed, Babsy. Who is going to be left tackle? Who are you comfortable with being left tackle? It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. You also got Jalen Duncan, too. Long arms project.
So I need to know where he is.
I think we all
right?
do. Yep.
Because I had forgotten about him until we started kind of going through the roster after this happened today. And you go through the whole roster and you're like, okay, that's a young guy. You talk about a chance.
Yeah, it could be a good thing.
It's a brutal league to get your first chance. And this was another point, too, brought up. Because obviously I see a lot of college football. I watch a lot of different offenses. I see every weekend I see offensive lines, in college football, and it's a different game.
It is.
Like that is such a transition nowadays, especially when you look at what everybody's doing in college football. It's such a transition from that position in college to this level because everybody's big, everybody's strong. And a lot of these colleges are running offenses where you don't have to hold blocks.
Right. No.
You know?
You
don't have to be as precise in what you're doing because that ball is coming out fast, you know?
Yep.
And then some of these offenses, a lot of them have tempo involved.
Right.
So it's like, just get there. You know, you don't have to hold for long because there's something open because you're catching the defense off guard and all of that. So it's such a big transition at that position, especially all across that line. So I wonder, I need to know where Jalen Duncan is.
You're spot on with that. Yeah, they also cut half the field off and operate just on one half.
Yep.
You see Tennessee doing that a whole lot. So, yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that. In the NFL, you got the whole field to deal with. And the hash marks are totally different, too.
Yep.
So that
and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it makes a big difference as well. So, yeah. God, Babsy.
I know.
Great weekend. But it was a great weekend in college sports as well, too, though.
Yeah.
Some real great games. College football-wise, man, Pac-12 might have pulled the cord too early on this one. But we'll see. That's over.
I want to get your take on Caleb Williams, too.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of people talking about it, and I want to get your take on that.
And I didn't tap into any of it either, so good.
Caleb Williams, after the game, hugging his mom, and it looked like just absolutely
Balling.
like shoulders moving, bawling.
Yeah.
Now his mom had covered it up, or they had covered it up with like a play sheet, but I think you could tell how emotional he was, and then his responses after the game. So I want your take on that at some point as well. We are going to open this next segment up for you with the MPF news, and Hunk presented a good question, too, asking what's more concerning to you, the lack of pass rush or now this offensive line health, especially with the NPF news out there as well. So we want to hear from you, 615-737-1045, and then we'll switch over and talk some college ball with Chris Lowe, senior writer for ESPN, at the end of this hour. But give us a call. It is your lines, 615-737-1045. This is 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. Oh, yeah, you heard me talking about Christmas. Let's go. So, don't you want to be like the hero when it comes to gift giving? Now is an absolutely perfect time to go ahead and buy somebody a new closet. And when I say that, I mean a beautiful, like wonderfully organized with shelving and whatever, beautiful show-stopping closet, or maybe a wonderful organized garage where everything has a place, or a laundry room that has different areas to keep all of your things and it makes it pretty, or maybe a playroom that's a disaster. Yeah, Artisan Custom Closets can do all of that, and it is great for a Christmas or holiday present. They offer multiple financing options, so it's so easy to give yourself or someone you love the gift of organization this year. Here's another thing. It's a local business. It's not a large chain. You hear a lot about those. Local, and their products are made and manufactured right here in the Southeast. And we're not talking cookie cutter items, customized for your home. And here's the best part. They'll give you 10% off if you tell them Dawn sent you. Right now in time for the holidays, mention The Zone, you get 10% off. Artisan Custom Closets, here's your phone number. Be a hero in the holidays, 615-800-2199. It's artisancustomclosets.com.
Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, car, truck, SUV, Jeep, whatever you're looking for. They will be able to help you out. No pressure from them at all. They simply want you in the vehicle that's right for you. And that's what will happen when you go see Daniel Gupton and his crew at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Have that conversation about what you're looking for. Maybe something with more space. Maybe something more reliable. Maybe you need that payment to come down. Whatever your story is, let them know. You'll take your test drive. You'll go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. 24 West to exit 35, which is about 9 miles outside the city. And then a straight shot into the best vehicle buying experience you've ever had. I've bought multiple vehicles from these guys. They're awesome people. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in Springfield, Tennessee. Just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out online while you pretend to work. GuptonMotors.com is the address. GuptonMotors.com. All of the dealership information is there. All of the inventory is there as well. That's GuptonMotors.com. Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram.
Welcome back into 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. We are locked and loaded for your day on this good Monday. Shine up outside. The sun is out there. Don't be fooled by it, though, people.
It's only out there for like another hour.
Yeah, that's true, too, huh? Yeah. Time has gone back, man, and it seems like the offensive line has gone back a little bit as well. By having an injury to NPF, man, he missed 4 games. What was it, 2 games? Did it get got reduced to 4 games.
It was initially supposed to be 6 games, and it got reduced to 4 games.
Yep, so missed 4 games
I don't know why
already.
we can't keep that straight.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a season for MPF.
Yes, it has.
We'll go ahead and say
Turmoil,
that.
Babsy.
Yeah, not good. Okay, so the question we kind of posed before the break was what's more concerning, the lack of pass rush right now for this Titans team, or what's going on with the offensive line and the health of this offensive line right now? Asked you to weigh in, 615-737-1045. So we will go directly to the phones and join you. And actually,
what?
You know what I forgot to do? This is what happens when Mayor's not here.
What'd you do, Babsy?
There you go. He's in the building.
This kind got no rules. That's right. This kind got no rules. Hey, before we go to it, though, Babsy, I got to tell the people. No rule. The best day in sports is here. College basketball starts today. Yes.
Tennessee Tech at 5:30.
That's right, baby. It's going down, man. Shout out to everybody going on this journey.
Is that on our station?
That is on SEC Network Plus.
I dare them not carry it on this station.
Our first Tennessee game is going to be Friday.
We would have been out of here.
There you go.
Stop it, Slay.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Stop it. We have to talk about MPF.
That is correct.
We can give basketball a little love later.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with it.
Okay.
I'm fine.
There you go.
I'm really not, but I'm fine.
Everything's
Facebook, YouTube,
fine.
Twitter,
I'm good.
and Twitch.
Twitch, please. All right, let's start things off in Clarksville with Derek. Derek, what you got for us? Happy Monday.
Hey, guys, what's up?
What up, Derek?
First thing, yes, Twitch, please. Second, I just want to say, I want to weigh in on that question. I think the bigger issue and complaint, and I'm not a Titans fan. I'm not from here, but I live here, so it's the local game I get. But I think for Titans fans, the bigger issue has got to be the defensive line. I mean, coming into this year, nobody expected this offensive line to hold water better than a bucket full of holes. But this defensive line has so much talent, and they're paid. I mean, they are compensated, and they have not performed. And I'll take that off the air and just listen to y'all's thoughts.
All right. Thank you, Derek.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's a good point because although I will say I think some Titans fans felt they did enough to correct the offensive line a little bit, but I think we saw early that the Dillard thing did not work out, right? Now Skoronski did.
Yeah.
And like I said, I would still consider moving him to tackle, but I know everybody tells me I'm crazy when we talk about that. Ramon, Mike Keith, Coach Mack, everybody is like, no, Don, no.
You know what? I don't think they think you crazy, Babs. I think they think that they've seen the product right there at guard, so he's successful. Why move him now?
Why move it? And especially for a rookie. I was about to say freshman. Especially for a rookie who is doing okay there.
Right.
You know, don't put more on his plate, especially when he's not going to have like a veteran to lean on next to him either. So, but everybody expected this defense to be, what did you call them at the beginning of the season?
Nasty.
They're not nasty.
They're not.
Not right now.
No, they're not even dirty.
Why?
I feel like one, the balance is off. Two, what we didn't take into account of, I believe, what Tierre Tart meant to this group, as far as balance of rotational plays.
Like when he was out?
Yeah, when he was out, I think Big Jeff, who is dominant, and it was good to be able to watch other games yesterday and not have to watch only Titans games and really lock into it.
Yeah.
Like watching, so I specifically watched Aaron Donald yesterday, and he deals a lot with what Big Jeff deals with. And
Double
announcers,
teams
and announcers keep on saying, hey, man, somebody else got to emerge. Like you see flashes from Byron Young and guys like this, but you need somebody else to emerge where this man doesn't have to get double teamed to be effective. And I think that's the same thing for Big Jeff. I brought up last week talking about Chris Jones and the big fella, I keep forgetting his name, Quinnen Williams up in the New York Jets. like people that get the big check, they're wreaking chaos, but the other parts around them are too. I think we expected more out of Arden Key. I think Landry is starting to get back to form.
Well, we got more out of Arden Key, I thought, early.
Yeah, but then, so it was in a sense same thing we saw with Bud Dupree. We saw early from Bud before he got nicked up.
Yeah.
And then he started fading. So I looked at it in the games they lost, 2 quarterback hits, 0 sacks against the Steelers. 1 quarterback hit, 1 sack, lost versus Ravens. 2 quarterback hits, 1 sack, lost versus Colts. Now, the part that you have to take out of it is the game against the Browns where they had 5 hits, but they didn't tackle Deshaun Watson, and he was able to keep plays alive. The wins, Falcons, 9 quarterback hits, 6 sacks, win.
Oof.
Bengals, 10 quarterback hits, 3 sacks, win. Chargers, 5 quarterback hits, 3 sacks, win. So
there's a difference.
And
there's your difference.
That's it. And what is it? Now, one of those sacks in those games was Roger McCreary. You missed him also.
Miss him
coming
big
out,
time.
You know what I'm saying? So
Big
coming from that
time.
nickel spot, being able to blitz,
And how
that brings
versatile
another element.
he is.
That's absolutely. You know, so I don't think I do think for sure they're not playing to the level that we thought they would, man, because we thought this defense could carry them. I said this defense could get them to 500.
Well, yeah, and I thought that they were going to be good enough to where it wouldn't matter that the offense is garbage. And then like 2 weeks ago, prior to the Falcons game, I thought, you know what? This defense can't handle it because the offense can't move the ball, isn't helping them. Like the complementary football is not there, right? And then you had some teams issues on top of it and mistakes made there. And I'm like, this defense just can't overcome all of that. But then, you see the offense start to help a little bit. I mean, I guess Falcons game, we kind of saw what they were able to do, but this past Thursday, against an offensive line where you expected for them to make some hay. Right?
Absolutely.
You expected that they could get to the quarterback in that game on Thursday. And it didn't happen.
Nope.
Now, and I also wonder, I know nobody's healthy at this point in the season, but I wonder up front how much that's affecting them.
Right. Big Jeff was dealing with something. It's amount of plays that Nico can play.
Right.
Landry's trying to get back into it.
We know what's going on with Tart.
Yeah, but where's Rashad Weaver? Like these guys, Arden Key late in the season, like right now. Like these are the guys. That's tough. So no real answer for you.
But there's a vote for defensive lack of pass rush there.
Yes, without question.
Yeah. Let's check in with Joey. Joey, what you got?
Hey, Don. Hey, Slay.
Hi.
What up, Joey?
By the way, Slay, big Jeff O says, "What's up, man?"
Tell my guy what up.
But so I'm not worried really about the pass rush because it hadn't really happened to us in a long time. But defenses, they do go through like with baseball, they go through slumps to where they're not getting home, not getting turnovers and stuff like that. But what I'm really concerned is the offensive line, especially at the tackles, because it seems like, as Coach Matt calls it, that guard center triangle with Brunskill, Skoronski, and Brewer, which I was one that I wanted Brewer gone after last season. But this season, he's actually impressed me. But it's some tackles that are worrying me, that where all the pressures and everything's coming from. And that's all I got today. Y'all have a blessed one.
Thanks, Joey. You too.
I think Joey's spot on. I think the tackles. I think once Hubbard went down, that kind of took that when you're holding up your fingers on the dam and not letting the water spew out. When Hubbard came off, that was maybe 2 fingers that came off the dam. So now
you're out of fingers.
Yeah, you ain't got. Then your left tackle now that was going to come back and get his spot. He's hurt. Then you got to go back to Dillard. Hopefully, Raiders. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. So the depth that you had 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, coming out of the bye,
and it wasn't even pretty depth.
Right.
I mean, it was ugly depth.
It was just depth.
Now you don't have it.
Right. You don't even have that. Exactly.
And you're most likely going to have to be looking at signing somebody off of a practice squad somewhere.
Well, guess what? They're on a practice squad for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why this is even scarier.
That's going to be tough.
So one of my biggest concerns, too, with moving forward with this offensive line. For me, the answer is offensive line.
Right.
Okay, so that's my biggest concern, and several reasons. Let's say, which I know that this entire town would blow up, but let's say Ryan Tannehill gets healthy and Mike Vrabel goes back to him, right?
You, Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, I agree. But
I agree.
But let's say that happens. Then you have a quarterback who's coming off an ankle injury that he has had multiple years now,
Right.
and playing behind an offensive line that you know isn't going to be able to protect him or give him time. And also, we've seen where Tannehill kind of, I think, feels things that maybe aren't quite there. So that, and then let's say you don't do that. Let's say Ryan Tannehill's still rehabbing. Let's say they make the decision to stick with Levis. Then now you have a rookie quarterback who the last thing you want to do is hurt him in the long run
Yes.
with an inability to do anything because he has zero time to do it with.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so because of those reasons, that's why the offensive line health is my answer to this question about what is more concerning. It's offensive line over the lack of pass rush for me because of what you have at the quarterback situation and and let's say Tannehill doesn't come back, but what you're trying to build for the future in Will Levis and what he is, then that's my biggest concern.
I will say, Babsy, I'm right there with you when you talk about offensive line and a fragile mental state of your quarterback. And you know what? Not even fragile. I want to say an inexperienced quarterback coming into play and what bad habits could be formed because of you having to run for your life behind that offensive line. You know what I'm saying? I think you still got him right now, kind of tame, being a tough guy, being able to take the hits, not breaking the pocket and running out, not really having to worry about him throwing the ball too early and trying to squeeze it into a window. I think it's all fine now. But the honeymoon phase, if he were to continue to start, the honeymoon phase would be over. And now you're an NFL quarterback and you settle in and you start to have repetitions which form habits. And if some of those habits are bad, those habits are hard to break, then you got a whole nother can of worms you got to deal with. So 3-5, would you be willing to put Ryan Tannehill back in this spot? And in a sense, save Will Levis' body.
What are you?
I'm just.
What are you trying to save? So he doesn't get hurt.
His mind and his body. Yes, I'm trying to save all.
We
of
know.
them.
We know you can't play this game that way.
I'm trying to say, yeah, you can't. You absolutely
I
can't.
get it, but you can't.
Okay. So to play devil's advocate to your offensive line problem, I like what you have in your center guard triangle. I like Skoronski. I like what I
love
saw out of
Skoronski.
Bronskill. He battled. I like what I saw out of him.
Yes.
I like what I see out of Brewer. Being able just get the snaps together. I can live with. I can live with everything. I do know, and that's not going to change. He's not about to grow. And, I mean, unless they got the Super Mario Brothers mushroom somewhere out there on one of these fields when he go out there and he touch it.
We need the star. Screw the mushroom. We need the star.
Then he'll be super Brewer. Like then I think those edges, man, is what's hurting us, man. Like Joey just said, the tackles, that spot, Dillard, who came back in and played okay. But can we believe in that?
No.
You're not even going to think? You're not even going to ponder on my question to you?
I want to be done with him, but I can't be done with him because they don't have anybody else.
And then there's a lot of bread right there. Jalen Duncan, young guy, long arms. Hubbard come out of I'll tell you what, he come out of concussion protocol and is okay, Babsy. You all right.
We don't know yet, right?
No, we don't know.
If he's out.
He didn't practice last week, so
Right.
we won't know that until we see the first injury report on Wednesday.
Okay, cool. But if he can get back, you can get Hubbard back, who was anchoring down right there on that right side. We were fine on the right side, y'all. You can then play around with the left side. Shiv get a little extra help over there. little chips every now and then, kind of go away from that, like we were just talking about
Tight
earlier.
ends get in the
you know
mix
what I'm
there,
saying?
help out.
Like, one guy like Wesco, maybe Wesco just go over there and line up at tackle because he does a lot of blocking anyway. I mean,
Yeah, he's good at that.
he is very good, very good.
You just come in and help
Very good.
protect.
Yeah, and see, and we're at that point in the season when health becomes a problem. Like you said, a lot of people are hurt. Can they bounce back and get healthy? It's gonna be interesting to see, man. Like we love you all on the phone line 615-737-1045. Keep loading us up, Babs. You got more?
Yeah, jump in. I was going to ask Hunk where he falls on that question.
What you think,
Well,
Hunkster?
the one person that Don asked about was Arden Key and where he's at. Going into the game this weekend or the game again on Thursday night, Arden Key has actually been double teamed the 6th most times out of anybody in the NFL.
There you go.
Okay.
So and he's been double teamed in 22% of his pass rushes that he's participated in.
See, okay, so that's what I was going to ask. I wonder is a lot of that double team coming in runs, too, because he's so light.
Well, look, and when I say he's 6th, he's behind guys like Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons. He's behind, like, those are
That's
Nick
what's up.
Bosa.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so.
Those names are very different than Arden Key.
I
Yes.
know, but Will Anderson, who's having a fantastic rookie season for the Texans, but those are the names of the players that are in front of him and the only ones that are getting double teamed more than what he is on pass rushing plays. So the reason why you're not seeing him is because he's taking up 2 offensive linemen or offensive players, and it really honestly should be helping Big Jeff and Tierra Tart more than anything because Big Jeff was the one that was seeing those double teams before Arden Key came in.
Yep.
And Big Jeff isn't even on this list and out of all the pass rushes. So that's where you're talking about where's Arden
That's
Key.
a great point.
He's taken up something that should be helping, which honestly should make you angrier about the defensive line.
That the pass rush is garbage.
Right, because you're getting this, and coming into this weekend against the Bucks, the Titans and the Bucks are averaging the same amount of sacks per game, which is about 2.6.
Yeah.
So, not saying that this offensive line should be okay, but after what you've seen from the offensive line, knowing that how bad we are literally bashing the defensive line for the Titans, that's kind of what you're going to see on Sunday against the Bucks.
But this is it too, and I know we got to go to break. I don't want it to be like we're bashing them. I want it to be it's more of the where's Waldo situation. We know the guys out there, and they flash enough to where they make plays, but you're not seeing these splash plays when that's all the focus was on the last 2 years was taking the ball away.
What's really
They haven't
hurting the
taken ball
Titans
away.
right now, numbers-wise, because if I were to tell you right now, hey, guys, do you know that the Titans are actually allowing fewer passing yards this year than what they did last year? You'd be kind of surprised by that. The problem is they're averaging about 30 more yards rushing allowed than what they did last year, which is part of the biggest problem that they're having is because of how many rushing yards they're giving up this season.
Like it. Yeah.
So
And
that's
plays.
another issue with this is no, they're not allowing as many passing yards, but it's because teams are running on them more.
What about explosive plays? Look that one up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like they have it and then boom, explosive play.
That
and,
happens and it's over.
It's over. Yeah. We are going to take a break, but we're going to chat a little college football with Chris Lowe from ESPN coming up after this. And then stick around on the phone. We will get to your phone calls in the 4:00 hour. And then we've got Mike Keith coming up at 4:22. So we will see what he has to say as well. 615-737-1045. This is 3HL on 1045 The Zone.
What's happening, good people? Your guy right here, Ron Slay, man. Picture this. You're acing the test. You're at 98%. You'd be celebrating, wouldn't you? Huh? Think about it. Well, that's a Waken 180 satisfaction score from over 20,000 clients. 98%. 98% is great in anything, I'm telling you. Why wouldn't you want to go with it? Like a game-winning shot in overtime since basketball season is right here upon us. Yeah, I'm working that in. That's right. Awaken 180, man. You need to get on it. Get your at-home consultation today by calling 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. You eat throughout the day. You're not hungry on this program. You lose weight every single week until reaching your goal. And after reaching your ideal weight, you begin to get into the maintenance part of the program. That's where I am. That's where Babsy is. We receive free support for life, but your coach, you only got to check in with like once a month. Everything is on you, man. You're automatically on your journey, and they're rocking it with you. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Somebody asked in our chat, is Hunk's voice always like that? I thought he was just sick last week. Nope. That's Hunk's voice.
Yes, I got it.
That's our
me,
guy.
Jim.
Yes,
That's me.
That's him. Hey, and do you know what is great internet? Oh, that would be Xfinity, the 10G network, the fastest internet. That's how we can look up these stats and numbers so fast for you. It's faster speeds rolling out all the time. It's internet that can power your entire house full of devices all at once with ultra low lag. So maybe one person is streaming a movie and another is playing on TikTok or whatever. Another's playing video games online. Well, the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity can absolutely handle all of it. The future starts now. Now through November 15th, new customers, 75 megabit internet on the next generation Xfinity 10G network for just $20 a month for 12 months, no annual contract. All you have to do, go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. It does require paperless billing and auto pay with a stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment taxes, fees, extra after promo. Regular rates apply to internet service. Actual speeds vary.
Welcome back into 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone. Yes, it's powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. You know we just got to dive into a little college football after that type of weekend that we just had on all coasts. I mean, right here in the South, out there on the West Coast, up east, everywhere. CeeLo, Chris Lowe, we got to bring the number one guy in, senior writer for ESPN. CeeLo, how you doing, brother?
Slay, is that you on the mixtapes coming in there? That sounds like that's you.
that was the old me. I let Swiper boy Ronaldo Woods get in there a little bit. Let him do a little something. What you got going, big guy, man? Your head turning? You got a clear picture of what the playoffs should look like after this weekend, or no?
I would say clearer. I don't. To me, there's about 2 or 3 games that are just absolutely going to be pivotal. Who goes? Obviously, Michigan, Ohio State. I think Alabama. If Alabama can get through these next 2 games, next 2 conference games, and get to Atlanta, whoever that is, and Georgia. Of course, Tennessee still may have something to say about it if Ole Miss can beat Georgia this weekend. Imagine that, Tennessee fans rooting for Lane Kiffin this week. Do you ever think you'd see that?
Oh, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. It might be some closet voting.
Yeah, I think those games. And then, you know, what to me, it's the Big 12 sort of sneaky because Texas has that win over Alabama, which I think is going to look really good in the eyes of the committee. But, you know, they may end up facing Oklahoma State, one of the hottest teams in the country, in the Big 12 championship game. Because remember, the Big 12 doesn't have the divisions anymore. It's the best 2 teams by percentage, and those 2 teams can end up playing, especially with Oklahoma State having beaten Oklahoma and Bedlam. So I don't know. And I still think that somewhere in the West Coast, someone's going to be represented. Slay. Is it Washington? Is it Oregon?
Right.
And here's the thing. Talking about rematches, we may see Washington and Oregon play again in the Pac-12 championship game.
So let me ask you this. The way the schedule plays out for a team like who Babsy has been on since the beginning, coach-wise, quarterback-wise, and team overall, Florida State, what would they be looking at knowing how their schedule is going to play out as far as the strength of it, knowing that you can have a Washington, Oregon team play again, you got Michigan, Ohio State. You can get a one-loss team with almost a stronger, resume, than Florida State. Damn, they're going undefeated.
Well, I think Florida State's got the best path
to
the playoff. Best, easiest, most manageable, whatever you want to say. And that's not to diminish what they've done this year because they've got the win over LSU to start the season. They go into Clemson and win, something Notre Dame couldn't do. But I really think that, of course, Miami this week's big. That game, for Florida State, it's in Tallahassee, which helps. Then they got sort of the glorified scrimmage against North Alabama. Then they go to Florida. And the Gators really are starting to, take on a lot of water. So, to me, Florida State's path, if you look at all the rest of the teams out there right now, I think it's probably as manageable as anybody. And then they're going to have to play somebody in the ACC championship game. But there's no way, and I know you were talking about Babs, I don't see any way that Florida State, unbeaten, having won the ACC championship game, is left out. They will be a lock for one of those 4 spots.
As they should be.
Right.
Yes. Were you surprised that the committee put Ohio State first?
No, because the resume, I think their resume at that point, Dawn, having beaten Penn State, a top 10 team at that time, and also having beaten Notre Dame. So 2 top 10, 12-ish at that point type teams, I think probably propelled them to that spot. Yeah. Would not be surprised, though, they go tomorrow night and then next week that maybe they drop a little bit. I don't know. When you start looking at resumes, Georgia gets a really good win over Missouri. I think it's a win that's going to continue to look good. They've got 2 more chances over the next 2 weeks to beat top 15 type teams in Ole Miss and Tennessee. So ultimately it's not going to matter. But to answer your question, no, because I think at that point they had 2 really quality wins, probably 2 better wins than any other team in college football had at that point.
Yeah. And of course, Michigan has played no one.
Mm-hmm.
So it going to be interesting, too, with Michigan, with the Harbaugh stuff. And I know we hit on it last week. And obviously, there was a firing / resignment. All of that's going on. Does that affect them when it comes to college football playoff and all of that at all?
I don't think so, unless somehow players got suspended.
Yeah.
which I don't think is going to happen, Dawn.
Okay.
You know, it'd be like a player getting injured and not being available. How does that affect your team? You know, if Harbaugh gets suspended, which I do believe in the next couple of days, there will be some type of announcement. There will be some type of movement by the Big Ten to try to suspend him. I expect Michigan to fight it tooth and nail, maybe threatening some type of injunction legally, some type of legal battle. Love to be an attorney right now. All these billable hours, man. I saw someone today was talking to an administrator last week that when it comes to college football right now, billable hours are unbeaten. And that thing's going to get pretty interesting. It's already interesting. But, no, I don't think it will affect. I think on the field, maybe I'm wrong here, I think Michigan may play even more so with a tail on fire the rest of the way because of this. I think they'll rally around each other. They'll rally around their football coach. I know some people say, it's a distraction. That's what everybody's talking about. And there's certainly that possibility. I think it's more, if you had to pick one of the two, though, I think it's more that they're going to play with a lot more passion and play for their coach and rally around him as they go forward.
Yeah. I can see that. You mentioned, I just want to go back to this. You mentioned the Gators and taking on water. What's Billy Napier's future there? What do you think that looks like?
They're going to have a hard time having a winning season.
Yeah.
And two in a row at a place like Florida, 2 losing seasons in a row, if that does indeed happen, I don't care how long the coach has been there, or in this case, having only 2 years, that doesn't go over well. I got to think, though, if you're Florida and you brought this guy in 2 years ago and you thought he was the guy to help you get back there, and you're recruiting well, I think that's the key here, is Billy's recruiting has been at a pretty high level, and they're continuing to recruit. If you look at the rankings for whatever they're worth and the number of players he's bringing in, clearly the recruits out there still buying in. They're still buying into the division. Now, if they start having decommits left and right over the next couple of weeks, maybe that changes. But if I'm the Florida administration right now, I have a hard time canning a guy after 2 years. At least give him a third year. What he can do with some guys that he's bringing in, again, recruiting at a high level. I think probably what's going to happen, though, is the administration there at Florida. What's going to happen there? Well, Scott Strickland's the AD. If he does indeed have a losing season, is he going to be allowed to be the one that if they don't get it done in year 3 to pick the next head football coach? So there's been a lot of questions there. They're not asking me. They won't ask me. But, boy, even if they do have a losing season this year, it's hard to see a pathway where you're firing a coach after 2 years that you don't get into that rut and at least not give him a third year.
Wow. Yep. Absolutely.
I know we gotta hit break, but I just want your take real quick on Caleb Williams and what went on over the weekend. And you saw the video of him crying next to his mom, and just what's going on there and with that program.
Yeah, that was a tough scene, and I think there's been a lot out there about, and you're going to see this more and more in the NIL world about whether a kid can continue playing if he's a top pick, and I know that was floated out there about Caleb. I mean, the kid's a competitor, and he understands that he's the face of that team. He's not the one giving up 45 points a game.
Right.
He's played his butt off. He's a reigning Heisman Trophy winner. That's always a tough place to be in, and I don't play at that level. I've been in locker rooms. I've covered ball for a long time, so I've had a little bit more of a closer view of it. These kids that compete like that, man, it hurts when you lose. When you're losing over and over again, and you're at a place like SC that's got the tradition, the expectations, and you're the best player, you're the guy that's on all the commercials, the guy that everyone's talking about, sometimes it hits harder. I think you just sort of saw him with his family after that game in a really, really tough emotional spot for him.
Yeah, I think we forget sometimes the pressure, too, that these kids have at the end of the day. They're still, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. So that's a good point. All right, CeeLo, thank you. We appreciate you.
It's great to be with you guys. Have a great day.
All right, CeeLo. Watch some basketball today, CeeLo. Sneak that in, though.
Chris Lowe, senior writer for ESPN. You can follow him on Twitter at CeeLo ESPN. All right, 4 o'clock hour coming up. After this, we will talk about MPF, the latest news out there from Paul Kowarski on Nicholas Petit-Frere and this Titans offensive line. What does that mean moving forward as they get ready to face the Bucs? That and much more coming up on 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, the heating and cooling company that can take care of all of your HVAC needs. And I can tell you firsthand that they can. Unfortunately, I love Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, but I wish that I didn't have to chat with them because our heating unit went out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Babsy.
had to replace it. But I'll tell you this about Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. I reached out to them. You can do the same if you have an issue. SpringHillAC.com is their website, and they responded within the day. We're out there immediately because this is when the temperatures were like 20s or 30s, whatever they were overnight. It felt like 20s. It was like 50 degrees in our house.
Very true.
And I mean, it was like, bam. They got out there. They diagnosed the problem. They let me know my options. Boom. They offer free service calls with their repairs too, plus up to 18 months, no interest on repairs. And if you need that new unit like we did, you can get up to 60 months, no interest financing with approved credit.
Well, Babsy, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, SpringHillAC.com. Hit them up.
Call them.
Buddy Allen Carpet One here to keep you comfortable at home with the cozy up to carpet flooring sale. Visit our friends at Buddy Allen now through November 6th to get big savings on carpets of every style, pattern, and texture. Need a little financing help? Enjoy zero interest if paid in full within 18 months. Stop by the store in Donaldson today to get details and guidance from the flooring experts. Visit BuddyAllenCarpet1.com for details or just stop by the store in Donaldson, 2405 at Lebanon Pike in Donaldson, 615-883-3289, BuddyAllenCarpet1.com.
And the Titans may need a little bit of help on the offensive line because, well, there's some news out about that. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Joe Hunk. Paul Kowarski is reporting that MPF could be done for the season and that he is going to be having a shoulder surgery on what he injured Thursday night. Now, Coach Vrabel did not speak with the media today, but he will do so tomorrow. You'll be able to hear that at 1 o'clock right here on 104.5 The Zone. Also on 104.5 The Zone, you can listen to Chargers and Jets. Kickoff for that game is going to be at 7:15. It's going to be coming up right after the Mike Vrabel show tonight. And if you're somebody like Ron Slay and you like basketballs going into hoops, basketball season starts tonight, college basketball-wise, as the Vols will be hosting Tennessee Tech. You can watch it on SEC Network Plus at 5:30. For all your foundation repair waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Get on back in here. Welcome back into 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. We're off and running on this beautiful, beautiful Monday outside. The sun is about to set, so if you're on the way home, be safe, man. Keep the sun out your eyes. Get down on your porch and relax. Kick your feet up. F&M Bank check is
4
walking.
o'clock.
Yeah.
That's what it's going.
Yeah, the sun sets at 4:45 now.
It's almost over. Yeah. Hurry up
I
and get
felt
on.
weird saying good afternoon a second ago because I looked out and I could see the sun going down on the buildings behind you guys.
No, that's it, dog.
That's bunk.
Part is almost over.
That is bunk.
What up, Babsy?
What up?
That's bunk.
That is
bunk.
Daylight
Twitch, please.
savings is bunk.
Twitch, please. Twitch,
I don't even
please.
care about that extra hour. I utilized it, though, with a late night
Man.
game on Saturday night. I needed it for that 7 a.m. flight. Welcome
Good one.
in on a Monday. This is Ron Slay's one of his favorite days of the year.
Yeah.
Basketball season is here, Slay.
Let's go, baby. Competition is in full force. Everybody think they can win the championship. I love it. Everybody think they're going undefeated. I love it. Cranks up tonight, man.
I don't know about undefeated, but
No, a lot
I
of
think,
people think they can go undefeated, Babsy.
I think that Vols team likes what they have, huh?
Babsy, they are a tough out. I can promise you that. Mm-hmm. I think Coach Barnes got to figure out what he's going to do. I think the most difficult part of that season is going to be, yes, of course, stay healthy. But if everybody's healthy, how you going to get those minutes? How do you space those minutes out and get that rotation together? You have
too many
literally-
good players?
He literally goes 1 to 11.
Man.
And that's me trying to count out 12, 13, and 14. Like, just because you can't play that many. But he got 11 guys that can – 7 to 8 guys that can go start on any team in the country. So that's saying a lot, man. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm saying, can I go to make a prediction?
Sure.
9 teams in the SEC get into the NCAA tournament. Book it.
9.
9. That's right.
Into the NCAA tournament.
In the NCAA,
That
the
would be
big
a record.
dance. That would be a record. That's right. I'm going out there. It was 8. Was it 8 last year, if I'm mistaken? 9 this year. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Record that, Hunk.
Yeah,
We'll revisit.
Write that down. Take a picture.
I don't give up.
Hey, hello, everyone. What up, Joe Hawk behind the glass?
Yes, Mayor is not here. He will be back tomorrow. He is on assignment. The big news, you heard Hunk talk about it at the start of this hour. Paul Kowarski reporting that Nicholas Petit-Frere is out with a shoulder injury and will have shoulder surgery. Nothing specific on if it's season ending, but let's be honest, the Titans are halfway through the season, basically. 8 games down, 9 games to go. You're having a shoulder surgery at an offensive line position. You would not expect that would be something that you could come back and be productive. I mean,
It's fine.
I like to give him a tip, man. Hey, go over there and see my guy, man.
Everything's fine.
It's fine.
Go see Kellum Stem Cell Institute.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Got your back.
Might as well try something, right? So,
Yes, that's right.
not good news.
Yep. it's not.
Although you started out this Monday trying to be all positive for us, and it's good news because guess
Titans
what?
get great news.
Because you give. I told y'all
Somebody
this.
can step up.
I've been saying this the land opportunity, Babsy. Now look what they're doing to somebody.
Here's my
At the
argument.
expense of other people's emotions, but
It's been the land of opportunity. With how Dillard played, he gets pulled. It's already been the land of opportunity. If you can play on that offensive line, I would think that you would have already been in. Now, I do want to see or hear or know where Jalen Duncan is on his progression and growth, because we haven't heard anything there. But
no, we haven't. He's got to be doing something.
Yeah.
Got to be getting better in some. And listen, you got to be getting better in some form or fashion. If you stay on the roster all year long, Babsy, you got to get better some form or fashion. I don't care if it's on the practice squad. You are getting better on the NFL roster with other professional paid players. You have to be. So he's got to be better than he was on day one.
yes. Is it good enough to help?
That remains to be asked.
I mean, what are your options at this point, though?
You know what, though?
You're going back to Dillard. You're waiting to see if Hubbard is out of concussion protocol,
Right.
and where he is. Dylan Radence, I thought was not. At least he did not grade out great against the Falcons. I thought he was better. I mean, it's all relative, though.
Would you like some optimism?
Sure, hit me.
Ladies
Hold
and-
on. Let me just give you before you go optimistic
Okay.
here.
All right.
Let me just give you the actually, you know what? You go ahead. Go ahead. Give me positive.
All right, the F&M Bank chat is open, and somebody just has Big Country said Slade did Daly get better last year. The answer is no.
Which is why he's gone.
Exactly. But okay, so I want to say, if people get healthy, if Hubbard gets back involved, and is locked in right there at that spot, is this back half of the schedule favorable to the Titans? As a fan, do you even want it to be favorable?
Right.
Is the question. You know, like,
What do you want to see?
what do you want to see? Because I believe if Hubbard's in there and you figure out, even with Dillard playing the way he is, with the people that they have on the roster, that they have on the schedule remaining, I think it's favorable. The Buccaneers are not no big, everybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of them. The Jags are up and down. They're not where we thought they would be, to me. It's my opinion. Well, they're not where I thought they would be at this point, even though it's 6-2. Yes, great.
6-3.
6-3. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So,
But the problem is, though, the
Problem is
Titans are
Houston to me.
3 games behind the Jags still
yes,
in the AFC
absolutely,
South.
absolutely.
Like, there's some ground to make up, although it helps that the Titans have only played one AFC South game.
Bingo.
And that's big.
Bingo. That is absolutely right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, we have the only, Red Gordion.
Gordion. Red B.
What's up, Red B?
How we doing, y'all?
Titans
Titans radio in
Radio.
the
How are
building.
you?
Well, good,
I'm all
man.
right. It's good to reset the button over the weekend and kind of just calm down after Thursday night and relax a little bit. Don't get many opportunities to do that on weekends during the season. So
What'd you watch on Sunday? A little bit of everything?
A little bit
or
of everything. In
anything
fact,
specific?
it's funny you mentioned that, Dawn, because obviously during game weekends, I don't get to see much stuff. I watched Red Zone a bunch Sunday.
So do I.
I mean, I certainly understand why people love it because, man, you just boom, 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 boom,
In and
boom,
out,
boom.
yep.
It's
It's
fantastic. But I did. I watched a little bit of everything. I certainly watched Tampa and Houston for obvious reasons. Watched the Colts and Carolina. I mean, there's 4 future opponents right there.
Yep.
I think Tampa is interesting to me because they started off 3-1. They've dropped their last 4.
Yep.
And, Baker Mayfield really necessarily didn't do anything to lose them that game. He didn't throw any picks. I think it's interesting how he's distributing the ball right now because the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's been a lot of Chris Godwin more than it has been Mike Evans, which, I'm sure he's probably double covered a lot.
Still
But here's the other
a
part.
head-scratcher, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But here's the other part that presents challenges for the Titans defense. First of all, 638 yards they've given up rushing in the last 4 games.
Ooh,
That's concerning. And Rashad
big
White
number.
as Coach Mack would say, is not an empty chair. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday, and then their 4th-round pick in 2022, Cade Otton, the tight end, had a coming-out party yesterday. He had 2 touches himself. They've got weapons. They're trying to figure it out just like the Titans are right now. Mm-hmm. And I heard you guys talking about the offensive line. You know, I know we've seen what's been reported about Nicholas Petit-Frere, and that's what you feared when you saw him leave the game the other night.
And not able to do
Yeah,
much
and in my mind, I'm thinking, is it a bicep? Is it a shoulder? Is it a pec? Is it a something? I guess the good thing out of all of this is, you notice how people aren't saying bad stuff about Dylan Radins all of a sudden? Mm-hmm. Dylan has been very serviceable in several spots already this year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. His grades haven't necessarily been great, but I feel like when you sit and watch the film, it's not terrible.
So if you can get Chris Hubbard back through concussion protocol, then, you know, there's your right tackle. And then wherever you want to work with Dylan Radins, you've got that option. You know, it was weird to see all 8 offensive linemen that were active the other night actually get snaps, including Jalen Duncan, the 6th-rounder from Maryland.
It's not ideal.
I'm.
What do you think about Duncan's progress?
I think he's. I like when they picked him in the 6th round to begin with. I thought it was a value pick.
I remember you like that.
The thing with him, and look, he had 3 reps at left tackle until Dillard was able to come back in. The thing with him is his footwork is good. I think the other parts with him is strength in the uppers and certainly more violent hands. And this is part of this is going to be staying in that building and getting in the weight program and all that stuff. That's going to be a focal point of probably several guys is after you get around the block for 1 year in that building with the nutrition and the weights and Frank Perino and the strength and conditioning team and those things. But I like that pick, and you know he's a big old dude anyway. Yeah. Good, strong anchor. I just think they're working on the other parts of his stuff. But, you know, in 3 reps, he seemed to hold up all right the other night. The thing I'm concerned about is what this injury report will look like when it drops Wednesday afternoon, because you haven't heard anything about Daniel Brunskill. Mm-hmm. That bothers me. I mean, there was a point where, what was it,
Dillard,
3 or 4 guys?
Dillard was banged up, yeah.
So, you know, we'll see what all that looks like. But I'm excited. There's a lot of good things out of this. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, Red, what in the world could that be? Well, look, I know they're having trouble scoring touchdowns in the red zone. I know that's an issue. But the explosive plays in this offense that is coming from Will Levis.
And that cannon.
Y'all, oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
9 of their 10 longest plays the other night were explosive plays of 20 yards or longer.
And that's
9
been
of
missing.
them. Oh, yeah.
Lately.
And here's the other part. And this isn't a slight towards Ryan Tannehill, but by the difference of delivery, he would be holding on to the ball a tick longer because of a little more of a windup where he's just flicking the wrist and boom. You know, he's slinging darts. But I'm encouraged by what I see there. And I'll tell you another one that's a good thing that is coming out of this. They have removed him from the punt return duties, but look at what Kyle Phillips has done in the last 2 games.
I had written him off.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people had written him off. A lot of Titans fans. But you look, he had 2 explosive plays back to back the other night in that ball game, and I think he's had 7 catches for 92 yards in his last 2 games. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the kind of difference of receiver of what they have. Of the rest of them are big and tall and physical and everything else. He's the difference. You know, we saw that with Adam Humphries when they had him, when he could stay healthy.
Oh, yes.
That was something that was a nice part of that change of pace in the receiving corps. And I think that's what Kyle Phillips can be for them. Because Duke can move. Yeah, he's got the scoots.
We got to get Devot in the second.
We've got Vaughn on next.
Yeah,
Okay.
the 2/5 of the Titan, 2/6 of the Titans radio. We'll have,
We're just making our show
we're gonna
better
make, we're gonna make it
today
round
with
and
the,
round. We're gonna
Titans
go round
radio
and round,
crew.
baby.
Yeah. We love you, Rhett B. Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to
Gordon.
drop in.
Appreciate that, man.
All right, Mike Keith, the Vot, voice of the Tennessee Titans, coming up after the break. Stick around. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. If you look over this 2022 survey of leading brands among homeowners, guess where you see Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville? All over it. Based on that survey, homeowners rated Pella as the leading window brand in Nashville, as number one for innovation, as the most trusted window brand. Homeowners recommend Pella windows more than any other window brand. Voted number one for highest craftsmanship, as a premium window brand, as the window brand that stands behind their products, and number one in Nashville by homeowners for highest quality. How about that? There's even more. I could go on, but I figured you were getting tired of hearing how great they are. I tell you a lot, but they are. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville, and I know because I use them. You can use them to replace your windows and doors as well. Schedule a free consultation. Check out their limited time special right now that they have going on. 50% off qualifying installations. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 months. You got that right. Just go to PellaNashville.com.
Got a pretty big game coming up. So you can get hooked up over at Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits. Easy to get in and out. If you want to just pop in, you know what you want, and get out, you can do it easily there. Or if you want some advice, Jason and his crew
Welcome back into 3XL right here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, man. We just heard a little bit about a little bit from Rhett Gordion, Rhett Gordy B, Rhett Bryan of Titans Radio. And the only way to follow that up, Babsy, is if you bring another, also, not only Titans Radio, not only the VOT, but social media phenom,
It's true.
Mike Keefe, if you bring him in the building the correct way, because this man right here, I'm talking about, is world renowned right now in the social media world. I know because I'm in there, Mike.
How are you liking it, Mike?
Well, it's been fun, just trying to, sort of share some insights into what we do. I mean, I'm not interested in being an influencer or, any of that. I'm just trying to, I did it with an express purpose of kind of saying, okay, here's some things that we do that you might be interested in or going on that you might be interested in. And if you're not, well, fine, don't follow.
Simple.
But if you do, if you're a Steeler fan, you probably don't care. But maybe you do. Maybe you would like to know what the Titans do. So it's been a lot of fun. People have been very nice, and I think they are taking it for the spirit for which it's intended.
Yeah.
If you want to follow, by the way,
get 'em, Babsy.
VOT
Yes.
on Instagram.
Blow them up, Babsy.
10 Voice, TENN Voice, and there's great content there. So
also Twitter
and the Twitter bird.
Wait, what?
Are you the same?
10 Voice. Yeah, at 10 Voice.
Oh yeah. So we never stole
What?
your VOT from.
Wait a minute.
Who was it? It was like a Monica VOT that had VOT on Twitter.
Yeah, wasn't she in like Michigan or somewhere?
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Dude, I'm not even following them on. See, come on, Slay. You
I
gotta
didn't
be
know
better.
that you joined
I didn't know
Twitter
you were on
too,
Twitter.
Vi.
I thought it was a
I'm
fake
number
Mike Keefe.
960. More people need to follow him.
There you go.
Well, yeah,
At 10
considering how
Voice.
many followers I have, nobody knows I'm on Twitter. So only the really special people know I'm on Twitter.
right.
Special friends.
Kept it secret.
There we go. We just passed it out, Mike.
Well, that's nice. Thank you.
All right, let's now there's nothing official, but reports out obviously that Nicholas Petit-Frere, Paul Kowarski reporting that he will have shoulder surgery, and obviously we all saw the injury against the Steelers. We all saw he wasn't able to do after that injury. Man, the hits just keep coming, I feel like, for this offensive line. Where do they go from here?
Well, pardon the pun, right? The hits just keep coming.
Right.
Yeah, when you saw the play, you saw that his hand got caught. It looked like under the face mask or in the face mask of TJ Watt, something. And, the immediate fear is like a torn pec, torn tricep. Just anything, to what it, and who knows what it'll end up being. But it was wrong. And you understood that it was wrong. And then when he could only go back in the game for one play, you worried, because whatever that is, that's an injury that generally has to be fixed. Right. So we'll wait for the full diagnosis, but if it is what we fear it is, that's a tough loss, and really a tough loss for Nick too. Golly.
Yeah, rough season.
Yeah, some bad luck and, just everything not working the way that it should, period. And, just kind of like what Elijah Molden's year 2 was, and that's really just a lost year. So you hope you get Chris Hubbard back. And if you do, then that's one more piece. But the question becomes who plays where?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, does Radens go in somewhere? Does Dillard stay in at left tackle? I don't think they're going to give a lot of hints, because I certainly don't think they're going to be just dying to tell, Tampa Bay what they're going to do. But yeah, there's going to have to be some adjustment if indeed Nick can't go.
So I bring it up again just because of the circumstances with Skoronski. Do you keep that the same because at least it's a position that he's taking care of, or do you consider a shift?
I think you consider anything right now, Dawn. I think you have to. But I also think you consider Peter long-term. You consider what Pete is going to be able to do throughout the course of his career. And, someone posted a couple of clips of him blocking Cam Hayward. and it was so impressive. I mean, Cam Hayward is a man. That is a man. I mean, that's like Bryant Young. I mean, some of these other guys that you're just like, oh my goodness, this is a real large human being in every way. And he blocked it. And listen, I know we're going to get the whole thing. Well, he wasn't perfect. I get it. But if you could stand up to that guy and block him the way I saw in a couple of plays, you're pretty gifted. And if you have that kind of gift and you're in the right spot, if you're Mike Vrabel, whose choice it is, do you just leave him right there and say, we got other things we got to figure out, but we don't want to mess up something that is really, really working and that we think is going to work for a long, long time.
Absolutely, man. We got Mike Keith Devon, Titans Radio, right here with us today. Mike, how when you're taking good moments from this game and the game before Sunday and Thursday being, you look at Kyle Phillips and you see the emergence of him. Is that really good to see when you take a look around the division, knowing that people are getting weapons, when you see what C.J. Stroud's doing, when you see what Richardson was doing before he went out with his injury. You know what Trevor Lawrence is down there in Jacksonville, but being able to see Will Levis right there and know how promising it is with a young guy right there in the slot, how important is that role?
I think it's very important.
Yeah.
And now we just have to see if he can continue it. And I'll be honest with you, if he stays healthy, I think he certainly can.
Right.
I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. He's a good receiver. He's got athleticism. He gets in and out of breaks. He's the guy that if you need 6 yards on third down, he can get to the 7-yard mark and catch it. He can make people miss a little bit. He's faster than you think he is. And, I just think for him, it's the same thing as for Treylon Burks right now.
Right.
It's just not getting to play over long stretches. Treylon Burks is a good player.
Yes.
Kyle Phillips, they're both good players, but if you can't stay out there, then it's hard to find any rhythm, and it's also hard for the quarterbacks to gain confidence in you and develop any cohesion with you. And, we've seen guys over the years who have certainly flashed at moments, and you've thought, okay, now this guy's going to really go to the next level, and then he misses 3 games or he misses part of the offseason. It doesn't make them bad people. They certainly don't want that to happen. But when you talk about it, you have to discuss it in very matter-of-fact terms, and that is, if you're not out there, for whatever reason, if you're not out there, then you're just not going to be able to continually improve. Kyle's been out there now.
Yeah.
Kyle's been in practice. Kyle was not getting lots of reps in practice, and then he ends up having to play in the Atlanta game, and he does a nice job, and then he plays even better in the Pittsburgh game. I would love to see him be able to continue this, because if you have watched him in practice, you're a fan. The media has talked about him a lot. They've seen it. And yet he's not been able to show it as much in the games because he's not been available. Let's see if he can stay out there and stay available. If so, I think it portends very well for that young man.
So much talk right now within this fan base, Mike, just about Will Levis and Ryan Tannehill. And of course, it's all, hearsay and we don't know yet. But if Tannehill's healthy, do you stick with Will Levis? Do you go back to Tannehill? What's your take on the quarterback situation?
I think the first thing you have to think about, Dawn, is we may not be to that point yet. Tannehill hasn't practiced yet.
Right.
I mean, and the injury only occurred 22 days ago. These are generally injuries that take longer than 22 days to fully heal. So we may be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from having the actual discussion. But who knows? I mean, we'll see. I understand why people want to have the discussion. It's the most important single position in all of sport. I get it. and it's the one everybody likes to talk about and everybody likes to have an opinion on. I'm no different, by the way. I'm the same way as everybody. That's how I can say this, is I know.
Yeah.
But I think at this moment in time, what's been forgotten is Ryan Tannehill has a high ankle sprain. And is he able to get back out there and be able to do much? And, we'll be able to start taking a look at that. I don't know if we'll look at it tomorrow, but certainly Mike Vrabel's going to be asked about it at 1:00 tomorrow. I know there's absolutely no question. I would not be surprised if he doesn't have much of an answer, because he's not ready to answer that question yet based on Tannehill's health. We'll see.
Right. And then the answer to that question could change depending on what happens this weekend if Tannehill doesn't go, and what happens around the league, and what happens next week. And I mean, there's so many different variables with it. That being said, what have you seen from Will Levis? What did you see from his very first start into this one? What stood out?
Well, I mean, you certainly haven't been disappointed, have you? I mean,
no.
that's what.
No, there's
that's
hope.
what I. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing from Will, is that he went out in the Atlanta game and did some really good things. Mm-hmm. And then he went out in the Pittsburgh game and he did some really good things again. He was taking a harder test. Yeah. He was going from algebra 2 to calculus, and he still showed very, very well, I thought. My whole thing with Will is physical gifts are obvious, but my thing with Will, and why I was excited about when they took him, is he's played quarterback before. Mm-hmm. He played for real coaches in a real system like the NFL does at Penn State. He did the same thing at Kentucky. He's played in hostile Big Ten environments. He's played in hostile SEC environments. He's dealt with expectations. He gets the whole thing. A lot of guys come in and they don't understand. They're the basic things like calling plays and running the huddle and being under center, yes. But there's also standing up in front of the media after the game. There's talking during the week. There's an understanding that everything that you're going to do is going to be judged. And, in his case, maybe putting mayonnaise in the coffee was a good thing because it made sure and taught him, I mean, you want attention, you're going to get it. And you don't have to do something on social media. I mean, you're an NFL quarterback, you're going to get all the attention you want. You can do the other if you choose to. But the job is such, and he has performed the job very well. He's performed the job like a Ryan Tannehill would go out and do the job. Maybe not as well, but the point being, to see that gives you a chance. That gives you a chance because all the other things can sort of fall into place. The extraneous part of this job is the part that often ruins people. And even with some success, they can get ruined. This kid gets it. He's got the it factor. I'm a fan of his personally. I like him. I also like the way he's been handled for 6 months. Mm-hmm. I like the way the guys give him the business a little bit. I like the way he takes it. But I also like the fact that he's the dude when he goes out there. And, when he's running that team, he's the man, just like Tannehill's the man when he's out there. You got to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, even when he was pressured on 34 of his 44 dropbacks against the Steelers.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, he went through that last year at Kentucky. That was the life he led last year at Kentucky. Yeah. 2 years ago, not as much. So, Don, he's really kind of seen it from all sides. He's heard at Penn State, you're not the guy. Mm-hmm. He's dealt with ups and downs. And that's the life of this position. And I mean, I think his game is he's still ascending. The most exciting part of Will Levis is the opportunity he has to continue to ascend. Okay, so maybe he wasn't the best guy at Penn State. He certainly was the best guy at Kentucky, but maybe he wasn't the best guy in the SEC last year. Well, guess what? As he keeps moving up ranks, he has a chance to keep improving. His game isn't nearly complete yet. And I think the fact that he has approached it over the last 6 months the way he has is a lot of what it's all about. I also think it's a lot of the reason that, Vrabel's not fawning over him publicly.
Right.
I think it's
some
about,
people have an issue with that.
Well, I get it. But listen, they used to say years ago that if you weren't getting criticized by the coach, he didn't think you were any good.
Right.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if that's totally acceptable in the world, but I think with Vrabel, some of that is still true. I think he sets a level of expectation for certain people to meet that is higher than others. And I think there's a pretty doggone good chance that he's got a pretty high expectation level, short-term and long-term, for Will Levis. I don't want to speak for him, but that's just a guess.
Yeah, makes sense. It's going to be there's hope for the future that, you never know, but that maybe you've found your guy moving forward, and that's a big thing because we know you can't win in this league without a quarterback.
Yeah,
so
no
you
doubt.
can't win in any league without a quarterback.
That's
it's
true.
100% true. I mean, it's what the game is all about. And he has done nothing but given people hope with the 2 games in 5 days for what he can be. Because a big part of this, Dawn, this year, and one of the reasons they went out of their way to come back and get him and select him is they knew they had to have some sort of answer moving forward. That they would, and the answer, could have been and still could be Tannehill moving forward. It could have been, or still could be, Malik moving forward. It could be, it could have been, it may still be Will going forward, but they needed as many answers, as many possible answers as they can get. If he's the answer, and they have gotten an answer somewhere, and then they get a chance to figure out all the rest going forward, that's a massive win.
Yeah.
Massive win for the entire organization, for where they want to go in the future. Again, it's not a knock on anybody else. It's just about Will and what he's been able to put out there so far.
Love that.
Good stuff, Vaught. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed watching some games on Sunday.
I saw a game on Saturday.
I was about to say, I heard.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to see a little ball.
Oh, back to the old stomping grounds.
Yeah. might have swung back up that way. Yes, it was just fun to enjoy homecoming and just to get to go to a football game with my wife and just really to be able to see some old friends and just enjoy it. It was a good time.
I love it. All right. There you go. Go Vols. I'll give you one of those.
Hey,
That was.
All right. Thanks, Vaught. There you go. He is Mike Keith, the Vaught, Titans Radio. And by the way, at 10 Voice, like 10 with Tennessee, 2 N's. At 10 Voice on Twitter. Go follow.
And Instagram.
Go follow Mike Keith because we finally sucked him into the social media atmosphere.
Don't let him go.
Hey, we're going to get to your phone calls now, right after this break. 615-737-1045. You want to talk about the whole quarterback thing and Tannehill and Levis and what happens there? Let's do it. Let's talk about it. All that and more. This is 3HL on 104.5 The Zone.
What's up, good people? What's happening? Yes, holistic stem cell therapy is here, right here in Nashville. I promise you need to get over there and get to it because I did it. Yes, I did. I had a lot of little problems going on, man. Just from over wear and tear on my body from a long playing career. But this is not only for former athletes. No, KellamStemCellInstitute.com will explain all of this. Just take my word for it for now until you give them a call and get your consultation at 615-850-4415. That's 850-4415. Yes, it helps with everything from congestive heart failure to lung issues, every bit of asthma and arthritis. But listen to this too, man. You may have a child or something that's suffering from a little bit of autism. Like, it goes to that as well. It's the cells. Your cells, your solution. It's your body. So why not take control, especially if you have this opportunity? I can't explain it anymore. Just call, and I'm sure Dr. Kellum will do a better job of explaining it. KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
You can get hooked up over at Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits. Easy to get in and out. If you want to just pop in, you know what you want, and get out, you can do it easily there. Or if you want some advice, Jason and his crew will be able to help you out with all of their bourbon knowledge, or wines or cigars or craft beers, whatever you need. 101 Creekside Crossing in Brentwood by the Publix, right there off Old Hickory Boulevard. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. Closed on Sundays. They have delivery through the Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits app. So where you get your apps, get the Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits app, and you'll be able to figure out what they got going with regard to delivery and curbside pickup as well. Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits, locally owned, serving Brentwood for more than 17 years. Football season is back, which means game day cocktails from Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits. Stock up with your favorite bourbon, tequila, or have them help you craft something special for game day. Maryland Farms Wine and Spirits, 101 Creekside Crossing in Brentwood. Online, MarylandFarmsWS.com.
Welcome back into 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone. That's right, powered by the one and only Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. You're probably going to need some of that the way this weather's doing. But we just left off with Mike Keith DeVot from Titans Radio, encouraging us a little bit more about what he saw from Will Levis and his last two games. And you know how I felt about that, Babsy?
He's excited about Will Levis.
Yeah, he should be. And I think
for the future of this franchise.
Why wouldn't you? Because as a fan, it's like you were late for the school bus. The school bus pulled off. And on the back of the school bus, it was Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence, and also C.J. Stroud pointing and laughing like the bus wasn't going to stop. And then all of a sudden, the bus stopped. And I got on, and my big brother came on, too. It was Will Levis. And now they looking like, oh, it ain't too funny. So now the AFC South divisional bus is not leaving us anymore.
So now we know how Anthony Richardson got hurt. Somebody slammed on the brakes of the bus.
There you go.
That's it.
That's what happened.
And he was laughing, and he got hurt.
Thought it was a joke. They told you to keep your eyes to the front.
By the way, how about C.J. Stroud? As a Titans fan, don't you just oh, man.
Still got to play him twice.
I know.
And he's getting it right now.
Here's some of his stats from Sunday. His 147.8 passer rating, the highest single game passer rating by a rookie quarterback, minimum 30 attempts in NFL history.
Right.
His 470 passing yards, the most passing yards by a rookie in a game in NFL history.
Wow.
Youngest player ever with at least 450 passing yards in a game. Just the sixth player in NFL history to record at least 450 passing yards and 5 touchdown passes with no picks in a game.
So I like that.
Have yourself a day, Mr.
Optimism, Babsy. When you come, I want you to read that again in the 5 o'clock hour, and I'm going to tell you some optimism that I have from listening to you saying that.
Okay, good. We're going to take one call, then a break, and then we'll get to the rest of you. But real quick, let's hit Matt in Knoxville. Hey, Matt, how are you?
I'm doing good. Hope you guys are having a good night.
We are.
Yeah, Matt.
I just want to say right off, I'm a huge fan of Rabel. If the team traded him, I think I would be crushed. Now,
we're going to talk about
we've gone through. I'm sure you will. We've gone through 4 offensive coordinators in the Mike Rabel era, and one of the things that other fans and I was concerned about when we hired a defensive-minded head coach was that a good OC is going to get poached, and so we've had 2 OCs leave to become head coaches. Maybe shaky on their results, but regardless, 1 get fired. We're on our 4th one now. The only reason I would possibly be in favor of a Mike Rabel trade is that you could get an offensive-minded head coach in here who could give Levis some stability.
Gotcha.
Do you guys? Yeah. What do you guys think on that? Thank you.
Yep. Let's talk about it after the break.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember
there's
that
a lot to this whole idea.
There's a lot
of Rabel trade
to all of it. So we'll dive into that, the Rabel trade, and then also dive into the defensive-minded head coach thing and keeping your OC, because there's a lot to unpack in that call. Good call, though.
It is.
We'll talk about that. We'll take the rest of your phone calls, too, on the other side. 5 o'clock hour coming up on 3HL.
What's happening, people? Yes, if electricity goes out, do not panic and don't go into panic. Not if you got a Cove generator sitting outside. If you got your own Generac home standby generator out there ready to kick on, well, you must have talked to me and Babsy's people. Cove generators, yeah, they always take care of you, Babsy.
Yes, the last hotel I stayed at, I looked out the window and there was a Generac home standby generator out there. Or I guess not a home one, but there was a Generac standby generator out there, and it made me feel good because it snowed about a million pounds of snow. So Cove Generators is your premier Generac home standby generator dealer. Call them today so that you can be prepped for winter and not have to worry if there is snow or ice. And if you already have a generator, Cove Generators can handle the maintenance on that and take care of it, any brand of generator that you own, because that's all they do. They just do generators. Visit covegenerators.com so you never lose power again.
That's right. 931-559-3311. 931-559-3311. covegenerators.com.
Stay connected through it all.
Good evening from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. Paul Kowarski says MPF could be done for the season as he could be having shoulder surgery. Now, Mark Vrabel did not meet with the media today like he normally does on a Monday. He actually will be doing that tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and you'll be able to hear it right here on 104.5 The Zone. Jonathan Gannon has just announced that the Cardinals plan on starting Kyler Murray against the Atlanta Falcons this weekend, which is actually kind of interesting because this is the third straight game that the Atlanta Falcons will be facing a quarterback that is making their season debut. Now, Josh Dobbs didn't make his season debut against the Falcons, but he did come in relief and get the dub for the Vikings. And just a little while ago, Kevin O'Connell said that Dobbs will get the start again this week, this time against the New Orleans Saints. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome into 3HL on 104.5 The Zone, powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on this great Monday. The sun is down. It's the 5 o'clock hour. We haven't said that none this year until now.
It's so dark.
It's over with, Babsy. Light is over with. Told y'all to get home and enjoy the sunset. Everybody.
Here's your light. Basketball season.
Yeah! Rocket Top.
With your balls
This kind. That's right.
Is Slay the only one that's excited today?
Got no roof. I'm geek. No roof. I mean, loving it.
No roof. No roof.
Man, shout out to
MPF could be
everybody
injured. Great news.
Hey,
Basketball's back.
Gonna be ups and downs, ebbs and flows to the seasons, man. Be able to help you pick your brothers and your sisters up, man. That's what it's about. Motivation. Everybody think they can win when it's at this point. Remember how much we were talking about this Titans defense at first? Yep. That was at the beginning of the season.
Now they're the 19th ranked run defense in the NFL.
That's right.
Which is very out of character for this franchise.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is Babsy.
Yeah, I'm here.
That's Bonk. That's Bonk. Twitch, please.
That's the
Twitch, please. Twitch,
Happy Monday to you. We are wide open this hour. Lots to talk about, from the Nicholas Petit-Frere info out there from Paul Kowarski to the articles out there out of Patriot land.
Yep.
Talking about Mike Vrabel and the Patriots trading draft picks for Mike Vrabel. So we'll get into that. Want to follow up on a caller we had last hour. Matt called in and talked about the offensive coordinators in this Titans franchise since Vrabel took over. Obviously, Vrabel, a defensive-minded head coach, and he's gone through 4 OCs now. 2 of them left for head jobs, and then obviously last year one of them got fired. And now with Tim Kelly, but he mentioned, would having a head coach that's not a defensive minded coach like help when it comes to OC and all of that. My take on that is, one, I think good OCs are going to be poached regardless. Doesn't matter if your head coach is an offensive or defensive minded guy, they're going to be poached because that's where this league is right now, right? It's an offensive heavy league. It's what can you do? Score points, all the things. So that's one thing. The whole Vrabel traded thing, because basically what he say? He's kind of said he'd be okay with Vrabel trading if you get in, more of an offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, because there's precedent of head coaches that do get traded that the trade value would be worth at least one first round pick.
John Gruden, right?
Yes, John Gruden. John Gruden's
that's
the example. You can go back and look at Sean Payton when he was going to the Broncos. There's precedent of this of, hey, look, if a team wants to hire a coach and you want to trade them, then the first round pick is like the starting point of what we're going to do. And it's more enticing because the Patriots suck. And so most likely you're getting a top 10 draft pick, maybe a top 5 draft pick with how bad they're playing this year. So it's more enticing because not just that you would get first round talent, that you could get really good first round talent with Rand Carthon being the one that's examining talent, not John Robinson.
Do you take that risk is the question.
And it all comes from a story because somebody in the Boston Globe said that there's sources that say the Patriots, quote unquote, home run hire, if Belichick were to step down, is Mike Vrabel, and that when Vrabel was up in New England for the ceremony for him to be inducted into the Ring of Honor, we all saw the videos and the pictures of him sitting with Robert Kraft.
Which, by the way, of course he's going to freaking sit with Robert Kraft because he's being inducted into their Hall of Honor. But go ahead.
But involved in that is apparently sources said that there was a vetting period during that about the interest of it. So that's where it's kind of like oh, wait. I kind of understand people get mad because now you basically were asking our coach, so would you be interested in coming here now if for something were to happen? So that's where this all comes from.
Out there are that's tampering.
Yeah,
it is tampering, but you
if they ever got wind of that, it would be a humongous
But
problem.
you also can't prove it because it was a conversation of face-to-face, not something that's like a phone call or text message or some people emails. Like it's literally a face-to-face, so there's no way to prove that.
Yeah. So
but that's where this all comes from.
Well, so Robert Kraft, we know a lot about him, right? He's been around a while. I mean, the reports are that he's willing to do whatever it takes to pair Caleb Williams or Drake May with Mike Vrabel in New England, that he's going to do whatever it takes.
That's cute.
Trading for a coach for draft picks.
An active head coach.
An active head coach who just won his power struggle with John Robinson, with the former GM, and now has, from what we know, a GM in place where they have those conversations together about personnel.
Right.
And if they do disagree, maybe go a different direction instead of, saying, oh, well, you disagree, I'm going with this guy anyway. Now, this is all just us talking. This is not,
It's just one report from one guy about this. And at the moment, New England currently, if the NFL draft order would be set today, they are picking 5th.
I'm not. It's tough for me to give it any energy.
Well,
I don't believe
I always say too, and this is not to discredit coaches in general, but you can be the best coach in the world, and if you don't have the players, and if you don't have a franchise quarterback, it doesn't matter.
Nope, it doesn't.
So how are you going to guarantee, if you're the Patriots, that you go get Mike Vrabel and trade a first-round draft pick for him as a coach, and then also still be able to get the Jimmies and the Joes, right? It's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. It's been a long time saying for
some
a reason.
point during the season, you may scheme your way out of a regular season game or something of that nature, or a single game period, but at the end of it, the war of attrition will kick in, and it always happens. It just is what it is. No energy for me on that one. I think that's hogwash.
Hogwash.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a word, Slade.
That was a good one right there. One. It's hogwash, in honor of basketball season. What's up?
Yeah, what do you guys think? You think Rand Carthon would be actually, I should say this.
Think?
Do you think Miss Amy would be willing to trade Vrabel for
even
a
interested, Babsy.
A first-round draft pick? What about multiple draft picks? If this is something Robert Kraft really wants, he's probably willing to do just about anything to make it happen.
Which is where it's funny because if you're trying to get Caleb Williams and you already have the 5th overall draft pick, that means you're going to have to trade that draft pick. How are you going to get the number 1 overall pick from the Cardinals?
Unless you're talking future draft picks.
Yes, which then if you're the Titans, why would you trade future draft picks when you're trying to win now? And
if you don't know what they're going to be.
Right. Rand Carthon has made a lot of good free agent signings. Not forget that, again, he's going to have $80 to potentially $90 million available in free agent money coming up in the offseason.
Right now they have the most cap space because the Bears made a move.
Yeah, and I know people focus on the offensive line, but he brought in Alshire, he brought in Arden Key, he brought in Sean Murphy-Bunting, which
he drafted Peter Skoronski.
He drafted Will Levis.
Any of this fall back on him, that's foolish.
Yeah, so he's made great decisions since becoming the general manager in this. So why would you want to abandon this right now? He's a body. I mean,
that's an expensive.
Yeah, giveaway.
I mean, maybe a dead body, but he's a body.
I don't know. The whole trading coaches for draft picks, is ridiculous to me.
It's just going to be an evolution of the trade at some point. Like, it's going to start trading out. Might look up as be D coordinators getting traded. You know, they're going to reach new lows at some point. I'm telling you. Like, it's bound to happen at some point. But
let's take your phone calls, and we have our entire next segment to hear from you on this Mike Vrabel stuff. If you want to talk Will Levis, Ryan Tannehill, offensive line, Nicholas Petit-Frere, with the news coming out that he will have shoulder surgery, so now he's not going to be available for that offensive line. Whatever you want to talk about, 615-737-1045. Let's check in with Linda in the borough. Linda, hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Well, I just had an observation about the Atlanta game, and I hadn't had a chance to call you guys.
What you got?
So now I'm calling.
All right.
I just noticed that Ryan Tannehill, every time the camera went, on him, he was smiling. He was excited. He was animated. He always met Will when he came off to the sidelines. He was over there going over stuff with him, and the other little fella, Malik, he was standing there with his arms crossed with this sour look on his face. I thought, well, you're not doing anything to learn what you need to learn, standing there with a sour look on your face. And he should have been, greeting him coming off the sidelines and going over stuff also. That, to me, that's just an observation from Atlanta.
All right. Thank you, Miss Linda. Appreciate the call. I think, there's a couple of layers to that. For one, Ryan Tannehill is a veteran quarterback who has a lot of experience and has seen a lot of things and can be very helpful to a rookie who is out there for the first time. It could be something that Malik Willis felt like he didn't have anything to provide Levis, and he didn't want to get in the way of Ryan Tannehill there to help him out. Every player's different and how they kind of approach being on that sideline. And Tannehill could have done nothing, but we did see him in Levis's ear a couple of times, and I think that was probably important for Levis just because Ryan Tannehill has seen so much. But I don't necessarily think it's fair to dog Malik for, his demeanor on the sideline when he's the third string quarterback or at that point the backup quarterback, because you don't really know what those conversations are. You don't know what's going on. I saw him and Levis pregame, doing a fancy little handshake that they did together. Yeah. Like they are definitely pulling for each other, and all that. So probably not fair to give Malik any junk for that, just because we don't know on the sideline what those conversations were and and maybe he knew at that point that Levis needed Ryan Tannehill close to him in his ear way more than he needed to be there to help listen.
Yep, and you can you have your opportunity to ask questions later. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Things happen fast in that game, and on those sidelines, those conversations are fast because then Levis has to talk to his OC. He at some point maybe he has to go over and talk to his line. Hey, what did we miss here? He's got to talk to a receiver or somebody like, hey, this is what I thought you were doing. There's so much going on in that time frame, and those camera shots are just a millisecond of what is going on that sideline. So even then, Malik could have been all up in Tannehill's ear when Levis isn't over there and the camera's not showing him. So, so we don't really know what goes on over there.
Absolutely.
And trust me, I'm on a sideline every single Saturday throughout an entire game, eavesdropping and listening in on stuff like that. And there is a ton that goes on those sidelines. All right, if you want in on the conversation, Keith, I promise we will get to you. You've been waiting for a little while. Anybody else? 615-737-1045. You want to talk about Levis and Tannehill, what's going to happen there, what's going to happen with the offensive line, whatever you want. Wide open for some Titans talk or maybe some college football talk if you saw something this weekend that you want to bring up. Well, we're good with that, too.
Let's get it.
We're all about ball. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Get on over to Brentwood Jewelry, BrentwoodJewelry.com, 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood. Just off Franklin Road. It's exceptional style, exceptional deals every single day for over 50 years. They're open Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturdays 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and always a phone call away or a click away at BrentwoodJewelry.com. I'm going to slide in there on Saturday, try to figure out, man, what kind of watches they got. I saw they got a couple of things taking place. Also, they have something taking place this week, I believe Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to get more information about that and share it throughout the week for you and let you know, man, that we'll be pulling up, so you should be pulling up. They got an event. Matter of fact, I'm going to let you know now. Got an event Friday, November 10th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the store, Bremont and Bourbon event on Friday. I promise you want to get over there. I'm going to get over there and check them watches out, man. I need me a nice little Christmas gift, so I'm going to put that in a note in somebody's stocking and let them know, go get me a watch. You can do it too, man. Brentwood Jewelry, BrentwoodJewelry.com. Go get you something nice.
All right, let's talk about something nice. That would be Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Yes, their windows and doors are nice, and you might be surprised to learn that replacement windows are affordable with Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You go, if you're like me, you always go on Google or whatever and look at reviews for companies, especially local companies around here. Well, guess what? Their Google reviews, 4.9. That tells you all you need to know. So many people have used Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville, and so many people are happy with the entire process. I was really happy with the process of how quickly it went, of how detail-oriented they were, and how they installed their windows, because that process of installation allows them to warranty their work. And so they do it from sales to installation to service after the installation. And so because of that, they have the staff in place to make sure that they support you, the customer, and they back everything up with warranty. And right now, they're giving you a great deal. 50% off qualifying installations and no money down, no interest, no payments for 12 months. Schedule your free consultation. Give them a call or visit PellaNashville.com.
Welcome back in. 3HL on 104.5 The Zone, powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, live rocking and rolling right here in this 5 o'clock hour. Got the phone lines wide open for you, 615-737-1045. Got a lot of topics for you to dive into, and we want to hear your opinion and hit on. Listeners, we would love for you to call in and make our day since the sun is down. Maybe you can shine it up a little bit.
Make our night.
Make our night. That's it, Babs. Even though it's 5 o'clock, yes, make our night.
I want to make a family's night at the end of this segment. Not right now, but at the end of this segment, Nashville SC going for the gold in the MLS Cup playoffs, and we are going to give away a family 4-pack of tickets. We'll do that at the end of this segment right before the break, so stick around for that.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Let's jump into these phone calls.
Let's get it.
615-737-1045. Up first tonight. I got to make a decision here. This is why I need Mayor in here.
Okay.
Tristan, we'll just start at the top. Tristan in Brentwood, you are up. Hey, Tristan.
Hey, I was wondering, those articles about Mike Vrabel going to New England, could that be true? Like, I mean, he spent his time here, but he is really a New England Patriot for life, and like getting some picks back for him, that would be a interesting move. Like, I would say 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, or 3 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders would be like, Jim, and we can get like fresh air and fresh ideas, and get a Marvin Harrison Jr., my favorite player in the draft.
Yeah, he's fun. The reports are coming out of New England, which means that it's something within the Patriots organization. I mean,
sources are saying.
Right. Sources are saying that's I mean, it is what it is.
But
so
the biggest part about this is that would also mean Bill Belichick has to step down.
Right.
Which he just got a new contract.
That's my other point. What are you doing with Bill Belichick? Like, if you're Robert Kraft, you're not just like pooping on the guy who's been there forever and brought you a bunch of championships, right? There has to, I don't know about the truth to it, but I know Diana Rossini, who has some sources within the Titans and talks to Vrabel often, is not the one reporting that. So I think there's a lot of people that would disagree that they would not want that to happen. And, you talk about Vrabel being a Patriot for life. Well, guess what? The Titans were the very first franchise to give him a chance to be a head coach. And it has a great relationship with Miss Amy. And we saw what happened when there was some maybe possible behind the scenes disagreement with a former GM, and Mike Vrabel's still here. Yep. So there's some loyalty there. I'm sure there's some belief in the organization and Miss Amy, in the fact that Mike Vrabel is the one that is still here, right?
Yep. And let me throw out too, man. Like, Vrabel's not the only one that's still affiliated, active with that franchise. Like, they have one on their roster in Gerard Mayo. Like, you talking about Super Bowl champ.
Mayo.
Been there, played with him, won chips with him, went into the coaching. Like, unless Robert Kraft was trying to go a total opposite direction of Bill Belichick. But then again, you still have guys up under him. Mayo was up under Belichick. Vrabel was under Belichick. Like, the list goes on and on. So I would be shocked if they would just, I mean, of course you have to have a pool to pick from, but you got one that's been in the talks of getting a head coaching job the last 2 years. So.
Well, and honestly, if you're Mike Vrabel and you're looking at this franchise and you believe that Will Levis is a franchise quarterback and can be successful in the league,
right?
Why do you want to walk away
Why
from
would
that?
you walk into that?
And you've got Big Jeff signed and signed, sealed, delivered for long term. Those are some pretty good foundations to build a franchise.
There'll be people
around.
jumping to get at this.
Right.
This job here now.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Let's check in with Joe in Nashville. Joe, you're up.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, look,
Good.
Question. Hey, how is Vrabel sort of escaping the blame for what's happening with the team? I've listened to all the shows, and, we've been putting the blame on the offensive line, which is true, for the last 2.5 seasons. And, the defense isn't playing up the problem. He's a defensive guy. So do y'all believe that, as one of the previous callers said, she was taking a look at Malik Willis's look on his face. But when I look at Vrabel on the sideline and the press conference, he just seems frustrated. It just seems like the coaches got to coach better and the players got to play better. That seems like that's wearing out. So I'm just curious. We've seen coaches get fired for way less, having their teams on a upward trajectory compared to with Vrabel. And this is since the Kansas City AFC Championship game. We lost to the Ravens in the first round. The next year, the year after that, the debacle with the Bengals. Last year, we didn't even make the playoffs, and it looks like this year we're in the same boat. So I know it seems like we're putting the blame on J-Rob and the offensive line, but how is Vrabel able to sidestep the blame? He's the head coach. So I'm going to hang up and listen to y'all off the air. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
I think when you talk about that Vrabel and J-Rob dynamic, I think towards the end of J-Rob's end of his run, it was more about J-Rob going to go get the guys that he wanted to get. And I think maybe it was a disagreement. And this is just me speaking from my opinion and watching it as you watching. But I think it was a difference of opinion. And I think the straw that broke the camel's back was when you saw it live on TV when the A.J. Brown trade took place and you found out reports came out later like that wasn't okayed or checked off by anybody, else in the building other than him. So I think that hurt. But when you look at it, Vrabel didn't pick those guys. I think now his feet will be held to the fire a little bit more with Rand coming in because they say they're moving in lock and step. So he would be the
and
guy.
That he has decisions and personnel decisions, or at least has a say in personnel decisions, because when Kevin Byard was traded in his press conference, you remember Vrabel said, Rand and I, right?
Yep.
And so he owned that it was them together in decision making.
That's
right.
And then you heard also with Kevin Byard just being interviewed after the game by Josina Anderson. He spoke about his time with the Titans, and he said one thing he respected about Vrabel was coming to me like a man, letting me know what was going to take place about these draft picks, me getting draft picks in return for me, and it was just a business move. It was nothing. He said he totally respected that, and that's another way to let you know that he's involved as far as players go. So I think that may have been his crutch. And also in those seasons that you're speaking of, when it's out of your control, when you start talking about
injuries,
concussions is one thing. But like Babsy was talking about, soft tissue injuries and things of that nature that keep you out 2 games here, 3 games there, and you don't get no consistent flow, that's not in his control. And I thought that was a crutch in a sense when you able to point the finger like that's strength and conditioning, or on the player.
I think that we have all on this radio station also said that needs to be addressed.
Without
and
question.
That's the head coach's
You've
job,
got to
because
address that,
you are over everything. So I understand what Joe's saying.
I
because,
do too. I totally do.
They had lost from last season into the start of the season so many games in a row. And at some point you do have to hold your head coach accountable because you are in charge of all of it. Now, there are a lot of things, though. I think the reason that maybe he hasn't had a lot of the blame is because there are a lot of things that have been out of his control when it comes to injuries, when it comes to personnel and what they're dealing with from that standpoint. So I think that's why he's been off the hook a little bit, but that certainly ends. I'll say this, Lonzo in the chat said trade anyone for 2 first-rounders. I don't necessarily disagree with him on that, because
2
I
first-rounders
always
is
say,
different.
I'm like, 2 first-rounders,
That's a tad bit different.
it ain't the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. And if you could get 2 extra first-rounders, hey, we have a head coaching vacancy with a franchise quarterback who's in.
With some high draft pick, with some first-round picks, I think they're going to line up to come and get into it.
He said trade any 2 people for first-rounders, including Miss Amy. I will put her on the trading block if it gets us 2 first-rounders.
Yeah, you better do that, but
I don't know. 2 first-rounders is kind of a game changer. Well, if you draft properly, it's
Very
a
true.
game changer.
Very
yeah.
true.
All right, let's check in with Keith in Nashville. Hey, Keith, how are you?
You're doing okay. We got to get Dillard out of here, just like Tannehill. And as long as he's not playing, I think we'll be okay.
You're done with Dillard, huh?
The part is over.
But here's the bad thing, Keith.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice right now. You have to have Dillard.
No.
You don't have Nicholas
No.
Petit-Frere? Who you going to put? on that line.
Rated.
Yeah, he's got to
Rated.
step in now for Petit-Frere.
Yep.
That's the thing.
No, you got on the left side. You got Rated and the 11th pick.
Skoronski, yeah. Aaron Brewer in the center. Well, you don't know Hubbard's status.
Hubbard's
That's
in
part of it. He's in concussion protocol
I'm not sure
right
if
now.
he's ready for Duncan to be thrust into that role. Okay,
And we need to find out the health of Brunskill.
Brunskill, exactly.
So we'll revisit
But
your get Dillard out of
I hear
here,
what you're
Keith,
saying, though.
on Wednesday when we get the injury report.
I mean, we may find out tomorrow whenever Coach Vrabel talks.
Oh, that's true.
'cause
He'll
he could
be
give
asked.
updates.
Yeah, he will definitely be asked. Thanks for the call, Keith. Let's check in. Kevin in Hopkinsville up next. Hey, Kevin.
Uptown.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, good. I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what the last caller was asking, mainly in particular to Jalen Duncan. I know he played a little bit in the last game, but has he progressed since training camp, and why aren't they talking about him as possibly playing?
That's a great question, and I'm sure Vrabel will be asked about it. He only played 3 snaps, though, in that last game. So
They loved what he did in the 3 snaps.
It's 3 snaps.
But still, like, there are so many people that talked about how much love they gave for him for stepping in an emergency situation and holding his own in that situation. I don't think that he's ready. I think that, again, he was supposed to be the emergency, and then MPF got injured and couldn't pick up his left arm.
And they
And so-
were at the emergency point.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was actually nervous at some point in time they were going to tell Ramon to put his mic down. I really thought we were getting to that point where Ramon was going to have to go in and at least make a block.
He would have laughed at him.
Probably
Oh,
would
my
have done
gosh.
it. But, he would have done it. But still.
By the way, people saying Lawan's still available. Lawan is so skinny.
Did you see the video from him throwing out the first pitch yesterday?
Yes.
Like,
I
Slay
mean,
was there.
he is fit.
I ran into him. We probably the same size.
He's
The
not
exact same
blocking
size.
anybody.
I even thought he was smaller.
He may be. I mean,
Like,
but
he's-
one thing about it, he is
he's not
fit.
he's not coming back on that on any offensive line
I doubt that.
anytime
He'd
soon.
come back as a tight end.
He could.
Can
That
he
might
catch
be
the
fun.
ball? I mean, we've seen him catch one.
I don't know. That's a good question.
It is a good question.
Lawan, can you catch? Let us know.
Well, I would say yeah.
I've seen him catch beer.
Yeah, well, he could do that. Let's last one here before we go to break. We'll get the rest of you on the other side. Josh in Bowling Green, who has a question for one Ron Slay. Hey, Josh.
Okay.
Hey, Ron, man, you got so excited about my barbecue the other day, you didn't answer my questions.
Oh, my bad, Josh. It was my fault.
He
It's
was
your fault,
he was
Josh.
still talking about your
Yeah, I know.
barbecue.
Hey, I'll take that as a compliment. That's no problem.
No doubt.
But I just checking, y'all talking about the line and everything, and people getting picked up. The dude that the Jets just picked up that used to be a Titan, I was wondering what he might have left in his tank. He's been sitting on the couch, but I thought I read that he was like a 2-time Pro Bowler. His name's slipping my mind now. I had it written down the other night whenever I talked to him.
Are you talking about
But
offensive lineman? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Who are we talking about?
The guy that the Jets just picked up, he used to play for the Titans, and then the last 2 years he played for somebody else. And
Is that Saffold?
That's it. That is who it is.
Yeah,
Roger Saffold.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why has nobody else picked him up? Everybody's line sucking, and
right.
What does he have left in the tank?
Yeah.
What do you think about the Jets game tonight? And then after that, it's Tennessee basketball tip off. So you got to let's get pumped up. What's our season going to look like, man?
Oh man,
He could go on
I
forever
could go
about that.
all day about that, but
We got to go to break and give tickets away.
Okay, let's
Slate?
do that.
Nope.
But
All right.
again, we're not answering Josh's questions. First on Roger though, Saffold. I know he had battled a bunch of injuries, and at some point, it was serious to where he would go through portions of the game where he couldn't feel his hands. I mean, that kind of thing. So I know that he was battling a lot of that, and then. There were some weird tweets from him at some point too, saying like CTE is real, and just to where a bunch of people reached out to him like, hey, just want to make sure you're okay.
Yep.
I know he's since tweeted and seems to be okay now, but I think there's a lot going on right now with Roger. So
absolutely.
That's probably part of it. And he's one of our favorites ever. He was on our show and did a bunch of our Titans feasts with us back when we had
loved doing
players.
them.
He was so good
Yeah,
too.
he
So
wanted to
good,
do
so insightful. Yeah, he's awesome. But I know he's at the back end of his career.
Yeah.
And has really battled injuries, and obviously you've got an offensive line that is heavily injured right now for
Yep.
the Titans. So the last thing you need is another guy that maybe isn't quite
Man, they're getting
durable
injured, yeah.
or can't get in. So
That was the reason he had to walk away from the Titans.
yeah, exactly. You want to hit basketball real quick, or
You
you
wanna
want to
hit
take
it?
a break?
When we come back,
okay,
because we also have a giveaway.
4-0 too right now, but Zakai Ziegler just took his warm up pants off, so he should be checking in the
Oh,
game.
There's
there
a
you
reason
go.
I have not put it on behind Slay on the television because
we'll lose him.
Because he will focus on that
He
for the
gone.
next 19 minutes.
Oh, he's got it on his computer anyway.
Can't stop me, huh?
Right now, Nashville SC going for the gold in the Audi 2023 MLS Cup playoffs. 104.5 The Zone's ticket window is now open thanks to Window Nation. Caller number 5 to win a family 4-pack of tickets to see a must-win match for the boys in gold in Music City. Nashville SC takes on Orlando tomorrow night at Geodis Park. 615-737-1045. Family 4-pack of tickets is yours. All right, the year is almost over, and maybe you need some cash for the holidays, or you want to be credit card debt free for the new year. Loan Pronto is who you need to call, and that's who can help you do it. 615-499-5780. They've got this Express Equity line of credit. You can get $20, $50, $100,000 out in as little as 5 days, especially in this area. You can access up to 95% of your home's value. Loan Pronto does this all the time. They know how to do it. They know how to get you the money quickest so that you can pay off all your credit cards or your personal loans. And the most important thing about this, you still keep your primary mortgage intact. So that 3% rate that you have that we might never see again is protected. And with Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line program, 90% of the time you don't even need an appraisal. That's why they can get you the money fast. So call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. LoanPronto.com is the website, 499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Welcome back into 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone. We're wrapping up this good Monday. It's already nighttime outside, so hope you made it home safely. Still listening to us. Put your feet up, kick your feet up, watch a little basketball. Tennessee is up right now in Tennessee Tech 7-2. That game's taking place. So, Babsy, yes, we hit a lot of things today. Had Devot Mike Keefe on, came in and helped us out, encouraged us about what we saw in Will Levis. Red Gordy B, Brett Bryan from Titans Radio also came in, dropped in, special guest, helped us out as far as talking about what that line is going on and what to expect. And just his nervousness is all about the injury report that may come out Wednesday. Just seeing who's on that, I think. Also, Chris Lowe, ESPN sports writer for ESPN, senior writer for ESPN, came in and talked to us a little bit about the college landscape of the Final Four and what could be going on in the playoffs. Is it getting any clearer? So that was
There you go.
That was a lot to cover today, baby.
Yeah, it's good day. Your Vols are playing.
They are, and I am eyeing them.
All right, so
Zakai Ziegler has checked back into the game, people. Coming off the ACL in late February, early March.
That's impressive.
He's back with a sleeve on.
So there is some developing news. I'm not saying developing. It's just interesting news. Do you guys remember Martavius Bryant?
Yes.
Yeah, he got reinstated.
He got reinstated. He is expected to work out with the Cowboys tomorrow.
If he's able to get a job, he's more than just a freak athlete.
He is also expected to work out with the Titans.
Well, you talking about an animal, boy. I'm telling you, if they can get, well, let Savage speak on it more, but being able to watch from my view while practicing with the Steelers, with this Martavius Bryant, that dude is an animal, dog. Like, it's the measurements and how he, he's different. Like, he's a creative player.
Oh, that's right. Steelers drafted him in the fourth round.
He's a creative player. I'm telling you right now.
4 seasons in the NFL. He has over 2,100 yards receiving and 17 touchdowns in 44 games.
Didn't he play? He played in the XFL this past season.
He did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was where he was getting back in shape to get ready to come back to the NFL.
The man's a creative player, man. I'm telling you. It'll be interesting to see what happens
Especially, again, with the injury to Traylon, which we don't know how severe the injury is going to be and how long it's going to keep him out. But right now, with the way the NFL works, it's 1 week, maybe 2.
We shall find out. Somebody wanted me to help. I think somebody wanted me to help Ramon with his picks. I heard he was 9-21. Savage. Don't worry about that, y'all. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him together.
Sterling was calling saying you need to help your brother out a little bit. What is he?
9-21. It's how you finish. That's always what I tell Savage.
I'll get you fired now.
We'll get you fired. I will get you fired.
Coming up, the Mike Vrabel Show with Mike Keith, the Vot. That is right here on 104.5 The Zone. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great night. We will be back tomorrow.
God bless you and good night.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be you.
3HL After Party not happening, but it's still brought to you by Wicked 180. As is Chris Lowe.